fans' view, we're going to be talking about, this incident. You can see Dyson Maeda basically pushed it in the back of the head, and it goes down. It wasn't given a penalty. His hands hit the ball as he goes down, and the ball goes into the back of the net. No goal was given, but neither was no penalty. And that's a talking point of discussion with lots of Celtic fans and on the television last night, and people saying that it should have been a penalty. So what's VAR in Scotland playing at, and is VAR in Scotland basically up to it? There was a VAR decision given for Celtic with the red card, with the unbelievable tackle, the dangerous tackle on Adam Ida, and rightly so, it was a red card. But the fact remains, the inconsistencies with VAR in Scotland is something that we really need to be talking about. Dyson Maeda lands a unanimous penalty decision verdict, is some of the headlines last night, after clumsy I like how they call it, a clumsy Motherwell flashpoint. Dyson Maeda did have a goal chalked off. Stephen O'Donnell avoided punishment. Celtic have been told they should have had a penalty during the clash with Motherwell yesterday, a clash that puts us back top of the table. Yes, it does put us back top of the table, and we'll get rid of that just for the second, just to get the SPFL table up. And as you can see here, Celtic are top of the table with 25 points. Aberdeen are still hot on our tails with 25 points also after their win at the weekend, and Rangers are still 6 points behind the leaders, with Dundee United 4 points behind them. Motherwell down in 5th position. Anyway, that's good news for Celtic as far as we're concerned. We got back to having a situation where we had a clean sheet. We'll just get rid of the table and bring up the no-goal video again, because I think we're just going to keep that on to remind ourselves of what happened. Anyway, tell me in the comments what your thoughts are on it. We were leading 1-0 at the point, where the penalty was not allowed. It should have been 2-0 for Dyson Maeda. He did put his hands up and say, look, it went off my arm into the back of the net. The referee said it was no goal. VAR didn't even look at it to any extent. The referee did, didn't he? Anyway, it wasn't given as a penalty. But anyway, is VAR up for it? The VAR, as far as I'm concerned, they were quick enough to go to the one where Adam Ida, and that was a horrendous tackle. It was a straight red all day long. When you see it slowed down, and I mean VAR got it right then, but how could they get it so wrong when it was not a penalty? Nobody could figure out why the penalty wasn't given. The fact that Dyson, the goal was chopped off. I mean, why would it go over? I mean, you see the absolute blatant. I mean, I'm going to enlarge this screen so we can just see it a bit better. I mean, look. I mean, if we could stop this. I mean, I'm just going to stop it a bit. If you look there, I mean, he's got his elbow up. He gets the elbow to the back of the head. Elbow to the neck. He then uses the weight of his body to help push Dyson over. He's got his leg in front of him. It's a penalty all day long. I mean, it's absolutely terrible. He's way in front of the defender. The defender tries to cut across him. Dyson's away in front. He's got his elbow up. That's enough for the penalty in the first instance. He then goes through Dyson Maeda, knocks him over to the ground, and it's Dyson's hand as he's on the ground that puts the ball past the keeper and into the back of the net. I mean, it's just an unbelievable situation that when you get it to here, I mean, even that point there, that's the penalty there. Never mind this bit here, where he's got his leg in front of Dyson, and never mind this bit where he completely blocks Dyson in the box, and then floors him. He's no other option but to go down. It's a penalty all day long, but it wasn't given. Yeah, it wasn't given, and we still won the game. We still won the game, but I think that the fact that we need to sort of highlight these things, because you know what the referees will do? They'll go on their little YouTube channel at the end of the month, and they'll review the situations, and you'll get Willie Collum going, oh yeah, it was an honest mistake. Honest mistake, my arse. At that point, I mean, Celtic were only the 1-0 up. Motherwell were having a good game at that point. I mean, it could have changed the game completely. Look, ultimately, we won the game. We did what we do, what we always do in adversity, and we overcome adversity as a club. And you know, they can only hold us back for so long when we go on to then score some goals. Adam Ida gets in the action later on, which was good. And what about the captain, the stand-in captain? Yes, he gets a cracking header from a ball from Alex Valle. Yes, Alex Valle, who has been asked on several occasions now, if what's going to happen at the end of his loan, which takes us into the next part of the video. He was asked on several occasions over the last week about how long his stay at Celtic may be, and he turned around and said, "Look, I don't know. He is enjoying his football here in Scotland, but the Celtic loanee, Alex Valle, admitted that he doesn't know if he'll be with the club next season. They joined Celtic on a temporary basis from Barcelona in the summer transfer window, because Celtic were looking for a left back that we've been looking for a couple of seasons now. We do have Alexandro Bernabe, who's on fire down in Brazil, scoring goals and getting plaudits left, right and centre, but he has been suggested that will be sold. I'm not too sure about it, but we'll wait and see. I'm going to leave it up until Celtic decide that he's actually gone. People have said, look, he was at Scotland, he was no use. It's not easy for a player to come from South America and come to Scotland, and you know, with not just so much the language barrier, but it's everything else that goes with it. I mean, look how Lewis Palmer's currently dealing with the situation. He's on his Instagram last night with his missus saying it was only 10 degrees. Loving the temperatures. But anyway, 20-year-old Spain youth international Alex Valle, who was given the green light to head out the door by Barcelona after he was given his first start by Barcelona in the summer. Yes, he was promoted from the B team. He was actually out on loan the previous season. But Alex Valle's performances so far had people raising their eyebrows saying he's not that good as Greg Taylor. But over the last couple of games, he's proved his worth. And he's proved, in my opinion, that he's just as capable, I think. You got to remember, there's an age difference. So, you can't compare like to like, purely the fact that Greg Taylor is about 6 years older. So he does have that 6 years experience. And if you were to take Greg Taylor at the exact same age, I think the young lads are way better than Greg Taylor was at that age. And I think everyone will say that. You've got to remember that pretty much every man to a Celtic fan wanted Greg Taylor out when Ange Postecoglou came in. But Alex Valle has made a pretty positive impression over the last couple of weeks, but he's due to return to Barcelona in the summer after his loan is up. The latest update regarding the situation. At the moment, I'm just looking forward to this season, says Alex Valle. I just go year by year. I don't know what will happen in the future, but I enjoy it here. I love this city. It's been great for me so far. First of all, I want to learn as much as I can here. Now, the contract situation with Alex Valle is the fact that he does have a contract with Barcelona until 2026. They also have the option of 2 years add-on. So they'll have the option of 2 years on the remaining of that contract. So once his contract's up in 26, they can turn around and offer him. They will, if they think he's going to be a Barcelona player at some point. I mean, they could put him out at loan in Celtic again for another year and then give him that 2 year option, bring him back to Barcelona. When you look at the young kids that are coming through Barcelona, it's no wonder that they're doing a lot with youth setups. Anyway, it was just interesting. Alex Valle goes on to says, I'm a young player, so it's really important to play as much as I can and develop. then if trophies come, I'm happy with that, of course. That's what I want. Everyone at Celtic wants that. The fans, the players. It's normal that we want to achieve that. It's a bit like Barcelona, he goes on to say. He sees the similarities between Celtic and Barcelona. So do I. We want to win as many trophies as we can this season. They want to go out and win the treble. In terms of his battle with Greg Taylor, Alex Valle went on to say the competition between myself is really healthy. He's a great person, he's a great lad. It's unfortunate for Greg to get injured, but it's been a bonus to me because I have gotten into the team and had the chance to show my football abilities. I've tried to take the chance and I've given it the best I can. Whether I stay is not my decision, whether he stays in the team. I just enjoy everything. I try to do as much as I can in every game and in the training sessions. The young Barcelona kid went on to say, the move has been great for me so far. I am full of confidence in myself, in my teammates and the staff, everyone at the club. It's been really close to me and they've helped me a lot. Glasgow's an awesome city. I really like it. I'm really happy here. Of course, he's going to say that. I've been settling into the city and the club. It takes a bit of time settling into a new country and a new football club after being at Barcelona. But then he was on loan at Levante last season, which is in the second division, I think. He's getting more and more confident with more minutes. He's been improving every week, but he still thinks he can produce even more as a football player. He knows he's better than what he's currently shown, and he thinks that will come in time. He's still finding himself at Celtic, but he is getting more confident. The style of play in Scotland is a little bit different from Spain, but there's aspects of it that are a little bit similar. It's a lot more physical here in Scotland, he says. He says there's more contact, but at Celtic we're used to having the ball a lot, which is the same at Barcelona, so that aspect I'm fairly comfortable with, says the young loan E from Barcelona. Bayer looks to, if he looks at his Barcelona career, he's risen up through the academy ranks and at various youth levels, and we'll just wait and see what happens. But the big question is more than likely what is going to happen with the Greg Taylor situation, because the Greg Taylor situation kind of came to a head yesterday in the game, and the fact that when Alex Valle came off the pitch, everyone expected Greg Taylor to come on, and everyone knew that Greg Taylor was back in the squad. Everyone expected him to get some game time the second half, a bit like Cameron Carter-Vickers, but he didn't. So what does that say about the Greg Taylor situation? The fact that the manager moved Scales to left back, who in my opinion is nowhere near the standard that we need as a left back. Defensively, you could say yes, but from an attacking sense, completely not. Liam Scales is not the answer at left back that we need. Can he grow into that position? I mean, people say that he played at that position at Aberdeen a couple of seasons ago when he was on loan at Aberdeen. Excuse me, but for me, I don't want to see Scales at left back. Not at all. For me, he just doesn't. He's even worse than Greg Taylor at left back, and he's worse than Alex Valle. And you can't just go on, and fair enough, you can't go on half a game's performance, but for a left-sided defender, if left back's his original position, I think that we can do a lot better. Taylor will be rested. Just reading some of the comments, but anyway, it was interesting to hear about young Alex Valle, who was at Levante last season on loan, came up through the ranks and is liking his time at Celtic. Will Celtic put an offer in for him if Greg Taylor is sold at any point in the upcoming transfer windows? Let's jump into some of the other media this morning. The real reason Luke McCowan started, we all had a bit of anticipation when the team first came out. There was a shock by Brendan Rodgers. He dropped Callum McGregor, and he was asked about it before the game. Callum McGregor some people say Callum McGregor is a player that it's always the same with the Scottish players. He does get a little bit more stick than some. I've always said it. I just think that we as fans give the homegrown players a lot more stick, and they tend not to get songs as much as these European players or the Japanese players that come in for Celtic and that just turn up and show they're good enough. I mean, when players come through the ranks at Celtic, there's not very many of them get songs, is there? Let's be honest. But Brendan Rodgers explained why Callum McGregor was left out of the clash with Motherwell yesterday after the Champions League game. All was fine, but McGregor had an injury, and Luke McCowan's impact from the bench was pretty good. He told Sky Sports before the game he felt a little bit in his abductor yesterday. That was obviously the Saturday. He played so many games and so many minutes, so we don't really want to take a risk on him. Hence the reason that he missed out the Motherwell game. So McGregor's running all over the pitch and doing what McGregor does. Did Paulo Bernardo live up to expectations? That's something that I wanted to talk about. Do you think that Paulo Bernardo can take over that position from Greg Taylor? No, he can't. Callum McGregor. No, he can't. He's not as good as Callum McGregor. He doesn't focus everyone in the pitch. Paulo Bernardo's a fantastic player, and I think his game is fantastic that little bit further up the pitch. I don't think that he's ready. I think he's too young to maybe play that position, and it's not a position that I don't think he's played before. But does he play it for Portugal and under 21s where he is the captain? But anyway, Brendan Rodgers did go on to say that Callum, I don't think he's going to be out for any length of time, but it was good just to rest him for that game. Luke McCown's Brendan Rodgers says that he did very well. I think obviously you could see the pride and joy of being a Celtic player, and the pride and joy is scoring a fantastic goal from outside the box yesterday. Yes, and he was given the ball by Alex Valle. Now this shows the shoulder, the football head on Alex Valle, because when you see Alex Valle cutting in from the side, he knows where Luke McCowan is, and he points to him. He points to where he wants him to Luke McCowan to go, and then he kicks the ball right in front of Luke McCowan. McCowan gets it past one player, past two players, shoots through the defender's legs, right past the goalkeeper and into the net. Absolutely fantastic run of play, and nobody was talking about that from the young Barcelona kid. I thought it was absolutely fantastic, and it shows you the level that, Greg Taylor would never have done that, let's be honest. As much as I like Greg Taylor as a player, and he's a player that has grown into the position under Ange Postecoglou, and he came on tremendously. He's came on leaps and bounds, and for whatever reason he's not been given a new Celtic contract yet. But when you look at that play yesterday from the young Barcelona kid, oh my God, it was like, and it's no wonder he's at Barcelona. Let's be fair, and it's no wonder that he's came up through the ranks at Barcelona, because what a talent he has, and he'll definitely go to the top of the game when he comes back to Spain. But anyway, talking about Luke McCowan, Brendan Rodgers says that he done very well. Obviously, you see the pride and joy of being a Celtic player, and it's just a case of introducing him more to the Celtic team, because it looks like that he is going to be, even though he's only got a 2-year contract, he's got a short contract at Celtic, but you can see that what Brendan Rodgers is thinking. Brendan Rodgers is now thinking of the team for the next 2 or 3 seasons. Even though Brendan Rodgers does only have 1.5 seasons left on his contract, he is building a team that is looking beyond this season, and I would say beyond next season, which is fantastic from the manager. He made a strong impact coming off the bench and coming in the last couple of weeks. He comes in and he makes the Champions League debut, which gives him a lot more confidence, and now he steps in today. We know he's got a goal threat, and he works very, very hard, said Brendan Rodgers. The goal was absolutely fantastic, if you ask me. Absolutely cracking goal. Absolutely cracking goal for Luke McCowan. And I think all the goals were cracking goals yesterday. But anyway, let's jump into the comment section. We've been chatting away for 20 minutes. We've not even jumped into the comment section as yet. But as always, if you are watching this video on the replay and not the live, What's your thoughts? Tell me your thoughts in the comments section. I hope you like the new layout. I'm going to keep on changing it a bit until I get the exact one we want. Anyway, let's jump into the comment section and see who is all in the house this morning. Wait a minute. I just need to get rid of this. Is that? There we go. Engage. I don't want to do that. Close that. There we go. Perfect. Anyway, there's quite a lot of chat to get through, so let's get through that this morning. First up with Stephen Johnson. He says, thank you for putting the Celtic shop on the screen. The Celtic shop is the Amazon shop. I'll put that in the comments again. So cheers to you, Stephen. It was good to see quite a lot of people jumping onto that. Jim F's in the house saying, good morning, Baz. Jim McClarty says, good morning. Tam Max in the house. Paul Baird's in the house. Carly's in the house. Liam's in the house. Morning, Troops. Frank Bonner, good morning to all the fellow Tims. Happy Monday. Jim says good morning to Stephen. Hazel says morning all. Definitely a penalty. It's definitely a penalty. I mean, I'm watching that video as just repeating itself, and it's a video. It's a penalty all day long. It is a penalty all day long. Kaiser's in the house. Morning, legends. And thank you to Kaiser and Co for letting me on to their channel last night. There was a wee drink along during the game. That was quite funny. So just the usual cheating by the official, says Carly, chopping off a goal and denying us penalty. Stop being paranoid, it says Lanky Returns. I don't think it's been paranoid. I mean, I think it's if it's a penalty all day long. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, Lorna Gallagher says good morning. Mr. Quinn says good morning. Michael Ross is in the house this morning. Jim F is saying hello. Happy Monday, Baz, says Grace T. Graboy says morning. Kaiser, Mr. Quinn, Lorna, Duncan MacArthur, penalty all day long. Baz, it is that. Lots of people saying good morning. Stephen, Lorna, long time no speak. It says Carly. Morning, everyone in the chat, says Kaiser. I'm going to jump through a lot of the comments. Apologies. As long as Hugh Dallas' son is in charge of VAR, we won't get decisions that count. Was the young Dallas in VAR yesterday? I don't know who was in VAR. It's violent conduct, simple as that, says Mr. Quinn. Stuart Kettle Hun trying to make out that it wasn't a red card, the delusional zombie. The cheating is scandalous. I really like Valle. I keep fucking young Valle, says Hazel. Jump between Scottish and Spanish is just it's a pain in the arse sometimes. Spaces in the house. Hail Baz and Stephen Johnson. Hail Troops. Bernabe is playing more of a winger role in Brazil. That's interesting, T1, not defence. I don't think he is he? Is he playing a winger role? I thought he was playing... there you go. Let Barry play his game, and if he stays, he stays, says Lanky Return. Yep, if he stays, he stays. I'm not going to get... I mean, remember, Ange Postecoglou says, don't get too attached to your stars. And it's funny that he said that, and that's a season and a half that he's been gone now. 3 of the wins that we thought would maybe leave when Ange left are still at Celtic. David Lamont says, the sheep will do them. Talking about the Sevco on Wednesday, I take it. Carly, how's the decorating going? Says Jim AJCS. Text says VAR refs deny St Mirren Stonewall penalty. Not even doing a VAR check. That saves Clement. Also no check for Celtic Stonewaller at Motherwell. Yes, Baz. The call has gone out from the Brotherhood. Luke is the man, says Ben. Tom says showing vids. Showing a vid is a big improvement on the channel, but when you feature audio interview, we can't hear them. There's no audio interview on this. There is no audio on that. And AJ says, great shift as captain. You feel that we should have kept a hold instead of giving CCV it went. Nah, but Cameron Carter-Vickers is the captain when Callum McGregor's not here. And it was only the fact that Cameron Carter-Vickers was off the pitch and wasn't playing that Alistair Johnston got it. Anyway, it was interesting that Alistair Johnston, I'm going to apologise, I've not read all your comments, but when you go over to Instagram, 10 hours ago, Lewis Palmer put up, he was eating popcorn, watching videos with his missus, it was 10 degrees, 3-0. Alistair Johnston says, captain performance from AJ, and he was honoured. He puts up on his. Aramida says, good week. +3 away from home, 3 points away from home, and scoring a goal, and scoring at Motherwell again for Adam Ida. A lot of people saying that he's not worth the money. Well, he seems to be just putting away goals and just getting on and doing his work as he always does. Paulo Bernardo, he put up on his Instagram a couple of things on his stories. And then that's about it. Alexander Bernabe puts up his goal. And that's about it for the Celtic players. Anyway, what time is it? We've been on for 25 minutes. Jonathan Lang says, Motherwell manager's comments are embarrassing after the match. His players should have been charged with assault, trying to beat Ida's leg. The tackle, yeah. I mean, when you see it, he's got his studs up, he lunges. He almost rolls over on his ankle. You know that as soon as Adam Ida takes his boot off, his ankle's just going to go... His ankle's going to pop, and he's going to have some swelling and some bruising. It will go away within a couple of days. I mean, we've all done it. We've all went over on our ankles. There was no... I don't think there's any serious ligament damage done because he managed to run it off, but there will be some bruising on that ankle. Jim Duffin says Valle has come on well since joining. It took time to understand our way of playing, but is now playing very well. I don't think it was the understanding of the way that we play, because when you see the way that we play, it is quite a continental style. I think he was more taken back with the physicality and the physical side of the game, the knocking into you, players barging into you. That doesn't really happen on the continent. Players don't tackle like that. They tackle, but they're not knocking you on your arse. You know, they're not knocking you on your arse. You're not getting shoulder charged. It's quite an old school type of football that we still play here in Scotland. But it is Scottish football. It's rough and tumble. Ida is God's gift at the moment, says Mr. Quinn. James Duffin says Bernardo was nervous at the start but settled in well. He did settle into it, James. But I think there was moments where... I think because we've been lucky over the years, we had Bruni in that position for such a long time, and he could read the game, and you could see him reading the game and motivating players and telling players where to go and what positional play to do. And Callum McGregor does that to an extent. And is it just the fact that Bernabe's a lot younger, not Bernabe, Paulo Bernardo. Paulo Bernardo is a lot younger, and he'll maybe grow into that position. Maybe Brendan Rodgers in the long term sees Paulo Bernardo as that player to sit in the position and dominate the way that Callum McGregor has and the way that Bruni has. I'll need to have a look into what position he actually plays with the national team, being the fact that he is Portuguese captain. I think he plays further forward because he has scored a couple of goals. Anyway, Bernardo skips past players. He does that. Andrew says Alan Muir was on VAR. Carly says it was blatant cheating. And Mr. Quinn says, Carly, we're always being screwed by Sevco refs. Monty says, I think that's why Hatate Forrest hasn't started games for Japan. Time to sharpen up a bit. Rio, I think if he wants to sharpen up a bit, he'll probably get the move. Paulo plays centre mid for Portugal, says Lanky. Does he play the holding role? Anyway, that's me done and dusted for this morning. I hope you like the new look. It's going to get improved a little bit more. Hit the thumbs up, says Lorna Gallica. We need more likes on these lives. Cheers, Lorna, for that. There's been over 600 people on the live this morning. There's currently 196 people on. We will be back with an afternoon video. I don't think it'll be a live. It will probably be a roundup video of the news. And looking forward to the game on Wednesday evening. We'll start ramping up the chat for that. We are on 19,449, going up slowly, but we'll need to get some normal videos out. And the good thing about this is when we're doing lives for the football, I can actually put the players up there, so we can have the players going along the front of the ticker, which is good. Anyway, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are all around the world.